Do you remember when Jake Gyllenhaal, um, well, I don't know what Jake was doing, but his dad was trying to cross like Maryland or New Jersey to find old Jake, but the world was freezing rapidly and the wolves escaped from the zoo. Do you remember that happening?
Was that the day after tomorrow movie?
That's right. There you go. The day after
Dude, I
tomorrow.
haven't seen that in so long. And then, of course, probably one of John Cusack's finest acting moments, if I
Oh,
remember right.
John Cusack is in that movie. Okay.
Yeah, he was like the limo driver guy. Yes, I think he was.
That is so long ago that we thought that some kind of weather crisis catastrophe would be mostly a fantasy type of idea to have happen.
Well, I think it was mostly out of the whole 2012 thing.
Oh, it was. I mean that. Yeah, it was before 2012, but there was a lot of 2012 type talk
There,
around that
there's a
time.
lot of hoopla about it.
Yeah.
It's and when did Terminator say that the world was going to end? It was around in 2012 too, wasn't it?
Well, it changes in Terminator. They like the timeline is fluid, but I think someone says this might not be Terminator, but someone says like if you drop a rock into a river, like the river will divert itself around the rock, but it'll still meet again. So like it was like 1997 the world was going to end, and then they blew up Cyberdyne systems in Terminator 2, and then it was like it was going to end in yeah, maybe 2008 or 2012 after that. I think it was like
Oh, yeah.
2006 or something at one point, and then I could be wrong. I don't know, but
It's
they
like when
kept
there's supposed to be like nukes or something like that, or
yeah, they moved Nuke Day. They moved Judgment Day by their time altering actions in the series. At least at one point. At one point they say, well, Judgment Day just happens later because you blew up Cyberdyne systems.
man. I haven't seen that movie in a minute. That's a good one.
Terminator 2
Oh yes,
is a fucking
I've
classic.
oh yes, I've actually not seen the first one.
There's fucking in it.
Well,
There's
that's
like
good to know.
there is a sex scene in that movie that I was not allowed to watch as a child. My dad had like seen Terminator, and he was like, "You're not allowed to watch Terminator." And then later on, and as a young adult in high school, I watched Terminator, and there is like an explicit. I mean, again, there was some kind of like scandal or something about this sex scene in my house, so I may be overblowing it. But I recall I've only seen Terminator like once, the first one like once or twice, oddly, because all the other ones are like on all the time on streaming channels or whatever. But Terminator is like it's like the series starts with Terminator 2. That's when it gets popular. You don't see Terminator that often, and it's got a fucking sex scene in it. Not like unlike
But
any of the other ones.
which like what like I know about the scene. It's just like why?
Well,
Like in the midst of being chased after by a killer cybernetic robot, when do you have the time?
well, Faith demands it because she has to get
Yeah.
time flows
I,
like a river. If you drop a rock, you still have to fuck homeless man from the future.
uh, somebody had to make up that rule. I believe that
And
that's an
then,
important one to know.
um, Genesis is probably pretty bad, but I think it's the one that I kind of. Is it Genesis? You know Amelia Clark.
No, I don't believe so.
She's in Game of Thrones. She's She's the mother of dragons. She's Daenerys Stormborn Targaryen. She's a main character that everybody, the breaker of chains. In Game of Thrones, she turns into a bad lady, and everyone's disappointed, except everyone like, God, the ending of that show was so bad. They were disappointed because they're for 1,000 reasons. Anyway, she's in a Terminator movie, and she plays Sarah Connor, and like it's kind of like, yeah, at some point, so many. I don't know if like so many robots have come back from the future to try to kill her and her son and or her son. I think this is before she even has the kid. I don't know, but like the robot eventually comes back, or like Arnold comes back, and there's like immediately some kind of violence going on in the 80s or whatever. And Amelia Clark pulls up, and she's Sarah Connor. And what the robot often says to Sarah, and I think Kyle Reese, James Bean, Sean Bean, no, Michael Bean. Anyway, people often say to Sarah Connor, "Come with me if you want to live." So in like Genesis, Arnold's getting his ass kicked, and she pulls up in like an armored vehicle or something, and she's like, "Come with me if you want to live," because now she's all hardened because robots from the future keep coming back to kill her.
Like,
And one time, a killer robot from the future, enrolls in high school.
I'm sorry, what?
They made a TV show. I don't know what it was called. And I almost feel like there might be another Game of Thrones lady in it, but a Terminator, a girl, comes from the future, a teenage girl who is a robot. A robot shaped like a teenage American girl comes from the future and goes to high school. And that's the show.
What?
And that's the show. And the show is them in high school.
Say, T4000, are you gonna go to the dance this weekend?
That's it. That's what it's like. Yeah. Who's gonna take the T4000 to the dance, and what what gift are you gonna buy her?
T4000 gets like a carry sort of thing that happens to her, and then all of a sudden just like absolutely flattens.
Yeah, someone drops. So they find out she's a robot, and well, I guess you still throw maxi pads at her.
Oh,
I don't know. Is there a product?
Lock her in a locker with a used sanitation pads. Oh God.
Used cans of motor oil. Would they throw like fresh oil filters at her in the locker room when they find out she's a robot?
Either that, maybe some nuts and bolts.
Would it be like, yeah, they dump a bucket of nuts and bolts on her at prom. So that's a TV show that actually happened in like 2007 or 8 or 7 or something.
That's fucking. Just why? That's just nonsense.
There's a real big why on that one. Caramel dip for apples.
Yeah.
That's what I'm having for my evening meal.
I mean, those are really good.
It's fucking awesome. It tastes awesome. The experience of it is incredible. As far as I recommend it, but it might not be the most nutritious, and I don't know if you're someone that's supposed to eat a lot of sugar, if you should be eating this for.
No, I made some pierogi and some chicken and some pan roasted carrots.
Hey,
that was pretty good.
All right, yeah. Pan roasted, huh?
A little bit of butter. I would have done some onion and garlic, but I got lazy.
Like on the stove top, like is.
Yes, yeah. I did it all in one pan.
I guess so. My question is, in that case, what is the difference if you're using the term roasted or like stir fried? Like you putting them in with the lid on and letting them roast in the pan a little bit, or?
Oh, well, what I do is for like the pierogi, I boil the pierogi and like par cook them, pull
Okay.
them out, put in the carrots, par cook them, pull them out,
Oh, okay.
uh, and then I get like a little bit of the crispiness onto the pierogi. Pull the pierogi, put in the chicken. Uh, Let it get some fond and stuff like that. Pull the chicken, a little bit of water, throw in the carrots, let it kind of steam and stuff, and pull up all like the little crispy bits on the bottom.
Okay. Okay.
And then
Yeah.
yeah, reduce that until it's almost like a little sauce or coating. And then plate it. It's easy. It's just yeah. It saves me a lot on dishes pretty much. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I love doing that shit. I haven't had. I mean, I've been kind of. Man, I'm really like congested. I kind of am steering away from like potatoes and like I don't know. I eat a lot of ramen noodles, but I'm
Yeah, I used to eat a lot of ramen.
yeah, I
Yeah.
should not really be eating a ton of pierogies or pizza, but I would like to. Man, it's been a minute since I have like had pierogies out of pan. I like throwing some sauerkraut and sautéed onion
Mm.
in there, and yeah, pierogies are awesome.
Pierogies are really good.
Potatoes are awesome. I was saying something about yeah, like home fries for some reason. I was saying something about
Home
some
fries are good.
some kind of breakfast potato situation that I don't know. I wonder what I was yeah, something I was thinking about the other day. I barely even smoked pot today, but I'm about to. Well, how do you feel about Taylor and the Undersiders teaming up with the racist bad guys?
uh, it's I'm not exactly thrilled with it, but I mean,
Is there going to be a lot of racism in this book? We've asked this question already.
I feel like there's going to be a considerable amount of it,
Okay.
especially considering that like I mean, despite the fact that they are working together, they yeah, the Empire 88 are going to be a major like plot point in this entire book.
These guys are a superhero gang that seems both KKK themed and also German themed, and the boss guy Kaiser gets his ass kicked at his one of his giant ladies. He's got two giant Valkyrie women, and one of them gets impaled through the head.
Was it Flenja and Menja?
Fenja and Menja, they get big. Oh yeah, and speaking of again, I actually like. Oh, I didn't make a note here, but I wrote in Discord Worm has to stop introducing characters now.
There's a
Well,
lot. There's a lot going. Like this is like some like Marvel like character push type stuff.
yeah, can I have a
Right.
little? Oh, so, I mean,
I was gonna say it's just a lot.
yeah.
There's a lot of characters.
Um,
Um,
this thought isn't really complete, and it's not even really useful. But I keep thinking about this. I'm starting to think. I keep talking about kind of comic book terms and what reality is like in comic books and stuff like that. And I keep sort of looking at this as just an adaptation of a genre, an adaptation of like a form and a platform. But like, uh, yeah, I'm not sure about. I guess if you were looking at each of these chapters as an arc, this is such a dumb. This is obviously not even an observation. I don't even.
mhm.
But the subsections of each arc aren't really full issues. I guess that's the weird comment I'm about to make. Like there's a point at which the pacing I haven't really lined it up as far as you know what? I think almost every episode of this podcast I've had some like totally incomplete thought at the beginning about the structure of this thing, but yeah, I'm not sure. The subsections aren't really full issues, especially here, but I do have here are anyway, boy, yeah, none of that is was a fully structured or complete sentence, but I do have a list of the characters that are introduced in this first subsection, which is many villain gangs. We keep having to get reminded that Taylor's gang, the Undersiders, is a villains gang, which is why maybe they're teaming up with the racist gang to remind us of this. But we like them. We think they're the good guys, but they are, they are in league with all. Anyway, here are the characters introduced in subsection 5.1. Well, Kaiser is not introduced. We knew Kaiser before.
Mhm.
We met him with Purity. Fenja and Menja are Valkyrie armor wearing Valkyrie ladies that are with him and get big. We know about Purity. And then we've got Krieg, Knight, Fog, and Hookwolf. Hookwolf is Nazi Wolverine with blades coming out of his shoulders.
That description was pretty intense.
Yeah, he seems awful. He's got his logo is a swastika with a wolf face in it. It's like, and again, it's like this over the top comic book, and even like maybe 2011 would be late for this kind of thing, but I feel like in the 90s, like Image, like edgelord wasn't even a term then, but the kind of edgelord type of comics, the darker kind of non-Marvel DC comics, I feel like there was a lot of just fucking swastikas and Nazi imagery just to be like, well, these guys are obviously the bad guys kind of thing. But anyway, those are the Nazis. Well, they're the Empire 88. We meet Coil, who is a snake guy. That makes sense, but this is the guy we've mentioned. Yeah, he's been mentioned as he's got super soldiers with armor and laser guns that go around sniping people, and who are not necessarily powered.
Of like Cobra Commander sort of.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to. Wow. Yeah, that's a very good analogy. He's got a blank kind of face mask with a snake on it. Very Cobra Commander kind of vibe here, especially with the super soldiers.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like I may have been thinking of. There is a DC character I'm thinking of whose name doesn't come to mind, who is a sort of a militarized kind of villain who has goons. But anyway, we got Faultline, who was attempted to be recruited by the Undersiders and has gone her own way, along with Neuter and Gregor the Snail. Neuter is cool and secretes drugs.
He just secretes an entire like rave festival out of his pores, apparently.
Are Labyrinth and these are still the characters introduced in this bar scene. Are Labyrinth and Spitfire, are they in Faultline's crew? I don't think I made a note. But Faultline and Tattletale have some kind of issue in the past that is not fully divulged here, but we know that it exists. Then we got a gang of drug dealers named Skidmark, Moist, and Squealer. And the Travelers, who we may not get names of, but one of them is a big shape-shifting six-armed or four-armed monkey type thing. Six-limbed. Oh, and yeah, the part of the plot, all of these gangs, these are the villain gangs, they're meeting at a villain gang bar that's neutral villain gang meeting territory, and part of the plan that they discuss is, this is all about the Asian bad boys, the ABB, and the fact that they are putting bombs in people's heads and enslaving the populace and just terrorizing the city, many steps too far. But part of the plan is, we're going to tell the cops we're not going to do our own crime. We're going to let the cops know for the next month or so we're fighting the ABB with them and we're on their side. Do you think Do you think that sounds like a realist? Do you think that what do you if you were a cop and you got a call and the guy on the phone said, "Yo, this is your boy Gru down at the Undersiders. We want to tell you that us, the Nazis, the Cobra, and
Cobra
various
Commander.
gangs of Cobra Commander, various gangs of drug dealers are going to be not doing our own crimes for a little while because we're going to clean up the city for you. So just tell your boss, don't arrest any of us because we're fighting the bad guys out there."
Yeah, that I don't necessarily know how like you know in like Venture Brothers there's like some mild agreements between the police and uh and
The bros.
the protagonists, what I
Yeah.
forgot what the name of they are, but like the secret agent people uh and the Guild of Clam is content, and they have like particular rules when dealing with each other, sort of thing. So I'm not entirely certain if there's
Yeah, we
something that
don't
could be about that.
yeah, we don't know if there are rules or traditions like that in place. And there does kind of seem to be like it's almost like how Taylor goes to Armsmaster and is like, "Yo, I can't tell you what I'm doing, but I need your protection. And you're just gonna have to trust me, even though I'm, 15, and you're like, a superhero and have authority and the law on your side and stuff." It's like it almost seems like there are certain unspoken traditions between capes and the way that yeah, there it's almost like it might just be that there's like a softer, more hopeful sense of the world. And I keep talking about like the sort of soft reality here, but yeah. And there's a lot of sense in this first section of all of these teams are kind of a lot of these characters are figuring out or wondering if the other characters or other teams are going to fuck over their team. There's a lot of who's going to fuck over who kind of going on in this tense villain meeting. And this Kaiser, this Nazi racist Kaiser man, is sure acting like he's in charge. And also, everyone's going to split up. Everyone's splitting up from their own teams to make little special attack squadrons so that no one is too no particular team is too up their own asses here.
Mm. Yeah, and the oh god, what was it? I believe Tattletale was the one who actually kind of deduced that everybody was pretty much thinking of ways of how to screw
Yeah,
each other over in that scene. I thought that was really funny too.
she can see the invisible strands that people form.
Mm. But yeah,
Yeah,
they have their whole meet. Oh, bitch gets chewed out
this
for
is this is 5.2. This is sort of where I was like, this would be part of the first issue. I was like, we don't need two issues. Although maybe it could be. It depends on the kind of book. You could have an issue where there this whole meeting, and then the second issue could like shift a little bit to focus on bitch and her problem with Hookwolf, Nazi Wolverine. This is the owner of the dog fighting establishment
yes, that
that
she took out in it was like the interlude to four.
yeah. Is it Brutus? Is Brutus was it Judas or Brutus who the interlude? I think
I
it was Brutus.
I'm not
It was
sure.
the dog interlude, the interlude from the perspective of the dog, which was cool. He talked about pee a lot. When you're a dog, what things smell like pee is important to how you define your world.
Yeah, like the it was just like that entire discussion, entire um that entire interaction was just really hilarious, especially considering that Rachel slash bitch was like, you know, hey, I'm actually called bitch, not hellhound,
Hellhound. Yeah.
and he's like, don't care. Was probably my favorite bit in that, and then And then Gru stands up for her, and then there's that big back and forth where they're trying to figure out compensation and stuff like that. And then Gru thankfully like kind of quashes it all.
Are they talking? They're talking. Are they talking about compensation for the dog fighting establishment
Yes.
getting? Okay, so they're not getting compensated.
No, no, not the Undersiders, the Empire
Yeah,
88.
the Empire 88 are not getting compensated.
No.
Um, and I think that yeah, they're kind of like we're working together, but we don't like you, and if you're doing more dogfighting, we're gonna fuck you up again. kind
Mm.
of. They were kind of like that's do whatever you want, but we're gonna fuck you up again after this if this keeps happening. They also get into a fight with Rachel out on the street and are like, "Bitch, communicate. You gotta stop doing shit. You gotta tell us about the shit you're doing." Because
I mean, I mean, especially considering that you're going to like a large amount of money that we all collectively stole, and we made an agreement that
yeah,
we were gonna tell each other when we were gonna do this thing, and now you're pulling this bullshit where you're getting us in trouble with the other gangs, and now they're gonna have us in their crosshairs. So
yeah, it is dual fold non-communicating. First, she did not tell them that she was. I'm not sure why exactly. I may just not recall at this point exactly what she was doing when she was supposed to be meeting them with the money situation, but it could just be that she had headed there without all of them together and had been ambushed. It may not have been. Anyway, but yeah, it was them not knowing where she was when it was time to meet at the storage unit and retrieve the money, and then it was also they walked into this meeting not knowing that she had just very violently spit in the face of Nazi Wolverine. So she has to let them know what she's doing in their opinion. And then there is a scene at
mhm.
Walmart, and it's almost. It reminded me. Well, there are soldiers and enforcement and a mob of people at the Walmart, and it almost reminded me of early 2020 and Walmart, not Walmart, but pandemic type of situations where you would go out to the store and there would be a guy like there'd be a line of people like socially distancing and they'd be letting people into the store with like a little clicky thing to count how many people are in the store, and when someone left they'd let someone in because they only want less than 25 people in the Walmart, and like that kind of thing is going on. But this is because it's 2011 and there's been a series of bombings all over. I don't know if we totally discussed this last time, but Bakuda has gone on to bomb all kinds of places all over the city. So the city is in a state of terror while they're here at oh, and also the thing I didn't know what was going on last time that I couldn't quite figure out at the beginning of the last issue. So Emma was Taylor's childhood best friend who they kind of broke up at the beginning of high school when after Taylor's mom died. Sophia is just an extra mean girl that Emma started hanging out with in high school, who is most of the extra mean things were like Sophia plans that happened to Taylor. So they have a third one who might be called Madeline, but mainly the two I was confused about were Emma and Sophia. So that's who they are.
Mhm.
But here in Walmart is Alan Barnes, Sophia's lawyer dad. What a smarmy, slimy piece of shit. No, not Sophia.
Emma.
Emma's lawyer dad. because Emma and Danny are, or Alan and Danny are friendly at first. They know it. Their daughters used to be bestest friends in childhood, so they used to, say hi to each other when they would drop their daughters off at each other's houses, and they
Mm.
know each other and they're amicable. And I don't know if, I mean, Danny must know that Taylor's not hanging out with Emma, but he doesn't know that Emma is part of the ring of bullies that are causing Taylor to have mental health episodes. Hey, would you excuse me while I go up and grab a drink for one moment?
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
Great, I'll be right back.
You're listening to WMFB Bloodwork FM. WMFB Bloodwork FM. If the world won't fit, we'll make it fit again. From imaginary docks to impossible blocks. From a town that never was to the space between your thoughts. You're listening to WMFB Bloodwork FM. WMFB Bloodwork FM. Best talk, best news from nowhere and then. You're listening to WMFB Bloodwork FM.
So, hello.
Yeah, I'm here. I thought you were about to continue.
I just want to, sometimes someone will get up and I'll be sitting there by myself and I'll be like, well, I guess if they're gone, I may as well get up and go get a drink or whatever. And then, they come back and they're going, they start talking to, anyway. Yeah, what's up? How you doing, Thresh?
Doing good, man.
Yeah, in this topsy-turvy world, are you, what is, yeah, in this jingle jangle morning,
Oh,
how you doing?
It's been going.
You remember Tambo and Urine Man?
Tambo and Urine Man?
Wasn't that song about two guys?
I have no idea.
Tambo, oh, the jingle jangle, that's in, do you know what the jingle jangle morning is?
Not a clue.
Oh, it's in Tambourine Man is the name of the song. Right? Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man. Right?
Oh, yeah, Bob Dylan.
Yeah, Bob Dylan. Jesus Christ, yes. I never know that guy's name. Which is insane, right? Fucking Bob Dylan. Yeah, there's some story about how, like, on one specific record, like how it was printed on the back, it went over the edge of the text, the justification, you know what I mean? So like the first part of the title was on line 1 and the second part was on line 2. So it said the first half of the title was Tambo, and then the second half of the title was Urine Man. So it was these two characters, Tambo and Urine Man.
Oh my God.
Anyway, a new superhero team. That should be in this book. There should be a duo of superheroes called Tambo and Urine Man. It's yeah, there's a They Might Be Giants song called Weep Day. It's Samba time for Tombo and Weep Day for Urine Man.
Oh, those guys are so fucking clever. I like that.
Yeah,
I would never thought something like that.
There's probably a full half of their catalog that I'm not familiar with, but whatever was out when I was in high school, I liked a lot. I saw those guys live a lot of times at Toad's Place in New Haven, Connecticut. Anyway, is Emma saying anything to Taylor, or just giving her an eyeball that's too much for concussed Taylor to deal with?
Giving her that that smarmy, like
mean girl
duck face look.
I'm gonna win no matter what.
Yeah, that
Like-
like squinty-eyed, pursed lip bullshit.
You can't even do anything about it,
That you
motherfucker.
just want a back spin kick or something.
I'm gonna like even if you told these people what an asshole I was, it still wouldn't matter. Look at me, I win no matter what. Fuck, I've known people like that.
Oh yeah.
And that's what happens. Spoiler for the next segment that we're about to talk about. Although, but before well, the reason that we have to have a scene where it is proven that Emma's going to win no matter what, because we all end up in the high school, or not mom and dad, but both dads and all the girls and the establishment, and we have to have this big meeting with each other because Taylor blames her concussion. I don't blame Taylor at all for decking Emma in the middle of the Walmart.
Yeah.
But it's there's a terror alert. There are armed guards around, and also Gru's enemy. A superhero called Shadow Stalker is there.
Shadow Stalker.
Shadow Stalker is like, yo, you teenage girls, stop beating the shit out of each other while the city's on edge about terrorists, about teenage girl terrorists. Stop having a fight in Walmart, please. I don't know if it's a Walmart, but you know what I mean. You know the kind of place we're
like
at.
A mall or a shopping center.
Yeah. There were still
But
malls in
like
2011.
Taylor just like backhanded her into a mall fountain, basically. I think is what happened.
Should have hit her harder.
Should have. I still like the concept of giving them of like the way that they were the Undersiders were telling her just to give her lice or something like that. I'm down for that.
The Undersiders, give her lice.
Yeah.
The Undersiders are encouraging her to torment these girls with various types of yeah, there's a lot of bugs you can infest people with. Yeah, they talk about genital crabs. I'll tell you what, if I could control bugs, I wouldn't be doing any superheroing. I wouldn't be going out and trying to fight superheroes, but everyone I know would be fucking itchy all the time in their crotches. A lot of crotch torture. A lot of people torturing crotches in this, but not like crazy.
Oh my God.
Some conjecture, but we are reminded in a moment that Lung was necrotically poisoned in his crotch.
Oh my God, that still blows my mind.
Which causes your flesh to slough. You know what a word that I fucking love is, that I adore? Slough. SLOUGH. Your flesh sloughs off when you're bitten by brown recluse spiders. Yeah, slough. It's a little bit like draft. You know when draft is DROUGT?
Yeah.
Or
DROU.
DROU.
Depression or hollow, usually filled with deep mud or mire.
Oh, really? Well, it can also happen to your flesh.
State of despair, moral degradation. Yeah. I did not realize that. But that's...
Yeah. Your flesh sloughs off. Oh, yeah, also Slough, UK.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the original office was. With David Brent before Steve Carell.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Lung's cock sloughed off.
Yeah, yes. But anyway, this dude's dick just falls off, right?
He's got a lot of regenerative abilities.
But Shadow Stalker, like, puts them in cuffs, drags and
Yeah, puts Taylor in fucking cuffs her up.
threatens to arrest her, and then sends her off with her dad.
To go to the school to have a big meeting with all the parents of all the mean girls.
And what I didn't realize was that Alan, Emma's dad, is a lawyer.
Yeah, a shitbag lawyer trying to be like, you can't prove any of these allegations of bullying. You don't have any evidence that my daughter or the other mean girls were doing actual mean girl shit, and we can't let one girl's accounting of the situation ruin the lives of all of these young ladies, which is what shitheads and their asshole lawyers always say. It makes me fucking mad. This shit makes me mad. Reading about people getting bullied, if it's written in an even remotely accurate to life way, which it usually is because most people have experienced this type of thing, makes me mad to read about this. This might be like a clever trick because it is. I mean, like, getting your reader mad, like actually be mad at or actually dislike your villains is a really, like, that's a trick every writer wishes they could do all the time. Like, that's a good trick to be able to do. And these bullies are fucking assholes. And they got lawyer dads and fuck lawyers.
Yeah, and like, just let alone.
And fuck my high school administrators.
Yeah, like that's the thing that really gets to me.
Yeah, the administration does nothing.
Most of these teachers are like, you know, hear no evil, see no evil type shit.
What most people want is nothing, is for nothing of incident to occur or have occurred. What most people want is just everything, just anything, just the status quo to continue. And for us to not even have to talk about anything nasty happening.
The one thing that really got me was somebody said some of us have jobs to do.
Bullshit.
Whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Asshole thing to say.
The most asshole thing to say, especially to a young girl who's been bullied.
Come on. Yeah, there's a lot of, and it is. There's a lot of really tropey shit going on here. There's a lot of just, and it's shit that almost anyone would recognize as just the kind, just having to, it's, being a teenager often feels like and really being a fucking person often feels like having to exist just in the face of unbelievable injustice and inequity, and just this feeling that not even a desire for things to be fair, but just knowing that things never will be in the face of, you know, this kind of structured injustice. And that's a soul crushing way to feel if you're a teenager or an adult or anybody. So this section 5.4 does a good job of making of that kind of meeting and that kind of feeling and these kind of people. That's
I mean, I can't even count how many times I've dealt with something like this. Like where like somebody's blatantly just being an absolute ass, and then you try to say something to somebody and you look like the ass because, you know, they have that tarnished halo over their heads, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah,
it
does.
Being in the face of some kind of authority, the administration or whatever, and like realizing that, like, you know, your complaint is against, I'm trying not to say like the popular girl, but someone who obviously just, you know, that the tide is going to turn into their fate. You're starting to realize, well, this person is going to end up being unimpeachable because, you know, no one gives a shit about the story I'm telling anyway. Yeah, that shit sucks. I wrote down egg-shaped. Why do you think I wrote down egg-shaped? Oh, she's talking about how it's an oval shaped table that they sit her down at, and they sit her and dad down at like one tip, and the administration, all the other parents are like in the arc facing them, like it's the whole council against Danny and Taylor, the way the table is set up.
That's so wild. And at the end of the day, they only get like a 2-week suspension.
Yeah, and and Taylor is saying like, I don't even care, like even if you don't punish them, like just transfer me out of this school. And they're like, well, we're not going to reward you by sending you to a better school. Like, yeah, and like basically they end up getting a slap on the wrist. There's a couple things that she knows it's basically just going to be worse for her because she has to keep going here, and they're going to come back to school and be even worse to her. And she just is, telling the administration that none of this is going to make anything better and nobody cares and nothing. Yeah, I don't have detailed notes on this section, but there were a couple like points of things that like she requested a couple different things other than basically them just getting suspended and her staying in this school, and she got none of the things she wanted.
It was like in-school suspension for like 2 months or something like that.
Not send them on vacation, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that way they could quote-unquote be supervised, which I think... I feel like that's reasonable, but although they did say that it would have something to do with them not being able to graduate or something crazy like that.
Yeah, that's always what it is with these kids. You go in there and then someone's like, "Well, we're not gonna suspend them or do anything to them because there's no evidence, and we're not gonna fuck up their chance to graduate or go to college. We're not gonna fuck up their life just because they fucked up yours forever." I'm very bitter about everyone I've ever met. There's just every fucking little moment of my life I'm fucking bitter about. Yeah, did you like high school?
I mean, it was a mixed bag.
Yeah. Sure.
Per usual high school stuff.
Yeah. What a hellhole. Man, I'm very congested. I'm like, excuse me if you hear me, like, if you hear slight bubblings and flemmings and throat clearings, I'm just like gurgling over here.
No, you're fine, man. But just really quick, I just remembered this. So when I was in high school, we had security cameras all over the place, particularly in a spot where the boys' locker room would line up.
Okay.
And one day I asked a friend to borrow some money.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're like huddled in this corner. I'm like, hey man, can I borrow like $5? And he goes, yeah man, I got you. Just pay me back tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so I take the money and I look up at the camera and I'm like, oh dude, that's so funny. You know what? They probably think that we're selling drugs right now. You know what? We should just
so make a big show of it and act like you're selling drugs.
Make a big show of it because it would be really funny. And then I flashed the $5 to the camera, put it in my pocket, and we both gave a thumbs up simultaneously. And the next day, I get called down to the office, and there's my buddy I borrowed $5 from, and they're like, we have reason to believe that you might be dealing in illicit substances. Can you explain this photograph? And there's me and my buddy with both our thumbs up.
Unbelievable. Oh my god. Yeah, man. I wish I had some examples of dumb shit that they like thought I did. There were plenty of moments like that where because they will really accuse kids of some wild shit, and sometimes the kid will just be like, I don't fucking know, maybe. Yeah, we definitely got like, there was definitely a whole issue where they thought we were gambling in the cafeteria because we were using like pennies as counters on our games of Magic the Gathering, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, stupid little misunderstandings like that, they would fucking drag you down to the office and be like, you were seen doing this and this and this. We think that you're fucking gambling. You're running some kind of gambling ring. or fucking selling
Right.
drugs in the
Gambling
locker
ring.
room. Yeah, they were like trying to catch us doing crimes in high school.
I mean, we did have like a mild drug problem in my high school.
Okay, so I
But
guess they should be looking for
they should be looking for that type
for
of
who's
stuff. And
selling
I
them
mean,
then.
but like thankfully, like, you know, we both told the truth. It was like, no, I lent him $5.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that was a very big brothery sort of moment.
Oh, excuse
But
me.
it's all good.
Man. Yeah, the 90s. So,
So I was about to say I'm trying to remember where in 5-5 we were at.
Taylor's range has improved. She can get more bugs from further away. Maybe because she has been through some kind of traumatic situation by being blown up. Maybe they're a little bit like Saiyans. You know about Saiyans?
You know, yeah, the more often they come closer to death, the stronger they become.
Yeah, do you think maybe these capes, if they have like deeply or like physically traumatic experiences, their powers may, well, I mean, certainly lung is sort of not even, is sort of the rapid onset of anytime he takes any kind of damage, his powers increase. But Taylor has been blown up and her powers have increased. Um, I wrote down fuck Kaiser. Is he in this segment 5.5?
In this
I'm
section,
not sure
I
exactly
don't
what's
remember.
happening here. They must be on their way to an ABB
They,
warehouse talking to
they've
Kaiser.
arrived at the warehouse and they're basically in the van going over strategy, give each other like a sort of a code thing to correspond to each other. And they disperse the teams and let's see. Uh, let's see here. Yeah, they disperse, and it's her and it's her and bitch going out, and I forgot what they were supposed to be exactly doing.
Well, they're seeing what's going on in this warehouse that is controlled by the ABB.
Uh,
They got Kaiser takes Fenja and Menja and is like, I'm gonna go do this on the other side of the building, and Taylor's like, we're all supposed to these groups are supposed to stay together, and he's like, I don't give a shit, I'm a fucking asshole and a Nazi.
yeah,
So,
pretty fucking much.
which leaves Taylor with Sundancer, Bitch, and Neuter. Sundancer seems all right. She's a member of the Travelers, which I don't know if I mentioned that the guys. Yeah, I don't think we got full names of all the Travelers. They had a big six-armed ape guy, but that's not here. But Sundancer is here with Neuter and Taylor. Taylor organizes some bugs to be shaped like a man and walk around triggering sensor motion sensor traps where there are bombs in the warehouse. So yeah, the warehouse is defended by motion sensor trapped bombs. So Taylor makes a man shaped mass of bugs to walk near the motion sensors and set all the bombs off. That's how they begin their assault. And this is a drug processing gang facility where they have naked enslaved people with bombs in their heads processing their drugs. Yeah, for a really like kind of like soft fantasy, soft reality, kind of everyone's sort of nice to each other, kind of comic book world. There's also like real evil villain shit going on, and slave people with bombs in their heads and Nazi dogfighters.
Mm-hmm.
This is really, yeah, it's really obviously the kind of text that just gets written and posted to the internet, and that's why we have it. Like, this is like, yeah, there's a lot. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is definitely like almost the boys before the boys was there, or like Kick
Okay, yeah.
Ass or something
Yeah,
like
okay.
that.
Yeah, we're on that kind of, yep. Yeah,
Actually, when
that
did
kind of like
Kick-Ass-
weirdly hardcore and weirdly like soft fantasy kind of at the same time. Yeah, Kick-Ass is an excellent comparison. I'm not sure when that first movie came out. The comic came out.
2010.
Okay, yeah, saved. Wow, right before this, and yeah, I imagine the comic probably started a couple years before that. So yeah, that makes a ton of sense to me actually. That was yeah, there's like really gnarly, grisly things happening in that comic and those movies.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and yeah, I guess just to everybody's bad luck, Lung and Oni Lee are here. And Lung is very mad because his cock rotted off that time. Probably grew back. We don't know too much about it, about this guy's cock.
I don't know if I necessarily need any more graphic depictions of that.
It seems safe to imagine that he's angry about his cock. He's not speaking in very complete sentences because he has become a gigantic monster now.
Like a 15-foot tall monster.
Excuse me. Man, yeah. So a couple,
Mm.
unless you had something you were about to.
Oh no! I was just kind of rereading some of the passages and oh, we also forgot about Sundancer. That was.
Oh, I
that was
mentioned
also-
I mentioned that Sundancer is here.
Oh, did we? Oh,
Yeah, she's
oh,
here
my
with
bad.
Neuter, and in fact, yeah, Neuter is going along taking dudes out by touching them with his electric acid daisy carnival drug skin. And he is the first one taken out by Oni Lee, who is, I will remind you, and I really do appreciate the fact that like there is some magical, and it's like I'm not saying anything new or like this is one of those. This should be something very obvious, but I really there is something to structured writing when like you mention something just in a sentence 2 chapters earlier, and then you see it in action, and you know that you already know it, and that makes it make sense in the context. Because we've already had like 2 chapters ago, I'm seriously talking about the most basic writing shit and talking about it like it's magic. Please ignore me. But 2 chapters ago, we heard that Oni Lee teleports. When he teleports, he leaves behind a copy of himself that can act independently for a few seconds before it disappears. We've had like the breakdown of his powers. And now we have it like in action. They're having a fight with him with Bitch and one of the dogs, and he leaves behind clouds of dust, which reminds me a lot of the beginning of X-Men 2 with Nightcrawler. Do you remember X-Men 2 from around 2003, 2 or 3?
I don't remember X-Men 2, but I do remember. I do know Nightcrawler, and I watched like the animated series, so I know what
Yeah.
his powers do.
Yeah, in that movie, in the beginning of that movie in particular, they make a big deal. Like there's a big action scene with Nightcrawler, and they make a big deal. There's like one like enclosed room he goes into, and he goes in there and he like teleports like 3 times just inside the room really quick. So, you know, because in the comics it's like kind of it looks like just the way you would draw someone like appearing out of smoke. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of a cloud of smoke around him as he teleports in. But like in that scene in particular, like as he's teleporting around, the smoke like remains, so he like fills the room full of smoke, and all the guys in there can't see what's going on while he takes them out, and that kind of that very specific moment came to mind when Oni Lee was being discussed here, because he is kicking their ass at first, teleporting all around, like they think they're getting him. Coils snipers. Oh yeah, there are 2 coil snipers on the roof with laser guns sniping him also. And but they're sniping the clones. He leaves behind a clone that's getting killed, and he's teleporting almost instantly. And something that I think is very neat. There's a couple of neat things that Taylor does, including the man-shaped mass of bugs to trigger the motion sensor bombs. But she realizes that if the bugs are near Oni Lee when he teleports, she can follow them and know where the bugs near him have teleported to, and therefore she knows where he's reappearing. And they are able to triangulate him and fuck him up. And I'm not sure, I don't know if someone might blow off one of his hands or something like that, but he gets injured in a foot. He gets injured enough that he teleports away and flees the scene. So a small victory. A lot of their villains get away, which is, again, very comic booky. We'll rematch with a lot of these guys, I'm sure.
This sort of like, I'll get you gadget next time. Sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of that kind of vibe, especially because now we already are 5 chapters in and we already have the first villain from the first chapter is returned and he's huge and terrible. They have a whole... There's an extended... They get like a little bit of a break after they chase Oni Lee off, and they're doing like some triage to Newt and trying not to touch his skin, and I don't know... Oh, they've got... Ew. Yeah, they've got like a plastic liner from a gross mattress that they're wrapping him up in because they don't want to touch his skin because it is weaponized hallucinogens coming out of his sweat. And she happens to use that when she's fighting Lung. She has a cockroach or something take like a piece of furry caterpillar that has, fur to absorb a little bit of Newt weaponized hallucinogen, and then she flies that cockroach into Lung's eye. So there's a bunch of cool little Taylor Skitter, they're calling her now. But hallucinogenic cockroach in the eye is how she takes care of Lung here. Oh, and then, because she's a psychopath, pulls out her knife and cuts his fucking eyes out. He's really gonna hate her.
Yeah. I mean, although she did verify before doing this that he has the capacity to get this stuff back.
To regrow dicks and eyes.
He's already tripping balls, so what's losing a couple of eyes while you're tripping balls.
Yeah, no big deal.
No biggie. But I mean,
now I have forgot to mention Sundancer because she was part of the fight before the hallucinogenic cockroach.
Mm-hmm.
She creates it looks like she creates a nuclear powered ball of energy equivalent to a small sun and can shoot it around, and it melts the ground. Yeah, it melts the tar of the floor of the warehouse they're in, and at first I thought they were going to just have Lung like frozen in the concrete, but anyway. Yeah, it causes a big mess and melts shit and burns shit, but it does seem that Lung, being a pyromancer, is able to resist it and then shut her power down, but Sundancer seems very powerful, and we get a moment of that in this section as well. And anything else of note in this battle?
No, and not that I'm aware of. I like the fact that Taylor finds herself trying to be like cinematic in the Lung fight. And by saying like, you wanted me, then come for me, sort of a thing.
Yeah, she's doing a lot. She's doing
some tropey shit.
Yeah. She's talking to the bad guy, and that's when we get the Lung candy. Lung is so transformed he can barely even talk. And he's described as like being 15 feet tall. He's got like spikes and bone chunks sticking out of him. His face is like his nose and mouth have joined together in like an X-shaped thing full of teeth. He's got like chunks of like rock-like armor around his face, which is why she has to fly the bug right into his eyeball because everything else is armored. So we get a lot of description of giant monster form Lung. And then she calls the cops and says, hey, I just drugged this guy and cut his eyeballs off. Why don't you come and pick him up? What's up, cops?
Can you come get this?
Cut a guy's eyeballs out. Why don't you come and get him?
Oh man, I also appreciate the she.
Oh, you know who?
The-
Sorry, please continue. But I also forgot about Labyrinth. I didn't mention Labyrinth at all. Labyrinth is another character who is here.
Oh yes, yeah.
Too many
But,
characters. Too many characters
there's-
now. It's only 5 chapters in. This is my first real critique. There are so many now.
There's a lot going on.
Labyrinth also has space altering powers, but please, whatever. Please, it's your turn.
I was just gonna say really quick the exchange between Taylor and the 911 operator, where she continually asks, can I get your cape identification number, please? And Taylor's like, yeah, we've got Lung here. Come get him. Oh, can I get that identification? And then hangs up on her. I liked that little touch. That's nice.
That's what you need to know, cop lady. And also, like I mentioned at the beginning, also Kaiser gets his fucking ass kicked by Lung during this fight, which is good.
Oh, so does
either Menja or Fenja gets a bow and spear through the face. I believe it was through the face, or it could have been through the chest. A place you don't want to get speared through. One of the Valkyrie girls. So the E88, the Nazi guys get fucked up. Kaiser gets picked up and slammed against a wall many times until he's unconscious, and one of the ladies has to drag him away. So hopefully they are, injured a lot for being racist dickheads. Other than that, we're talking to Neuter and
they split up some money amongst each other.
And Labyrinth. Yeah, there was a brief moment during all of the action here where Labyrinth kind of used her power, which is actually not. It's not space altering. I think it is mostly illusory, but she can create illusionary walls and labyrinths and get people confused and lost.
And she is also deaf.
Yes.
Which I found to be a very interesting part of her character, especially when you meet her in the bar and she's taking orders and she just plops the notebook in front of everybody.
Right, yep.
But
yeah, anything else? We got Gregor.
Oh yeah,
The snail.
if we're going into the interlude, yeah, the Gregor the snail interlude.
Tell me about
wild.
Gregor the snail. What's he doing?
So it starts off with him with some teenager that he hires to go pick up stuff for him, basically just a runner.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically makes this deal with this kid, like, hey, if you, like, the last kid that I had do this, tried fucking with me, don't fuck with me.
Right.
Here's your money. And
Nothing illegal.
the kid's like, okay, deal. But
I'm not asking you for drugs or prostitutes. You just gotta
pick up like simple essentials like groceries and small shit.
Don't fuck with me.
Yeah. But then they describe how Gregor the snail looks, and that's
Crusty.
brutal.
Crusty guy.
Crusty guy, semi see-through. You can sometimes see his skeleton, which I thought was a really ew factor for the poor guy. That's gotta be terrible.
A little bit of Uzumaki comes to mind. I know we talk about Junji all the time. There's an X-Man character named Glob Herman that was kind of a guy that would hang around the X-Mansion around the early 2000s, and his skeleton was always on display, and it kind of. And he was, a big hulking guy. You could see his, his skull through his see-through face, and that came to mind, as well as various Junji Ito things.
Um, then yeah, he decides to go out for the evening, goes to this club where he ends up meeting Neuter. Neuter's partying with these two women, and or I believe they're teenagers, but according to the story, he's a teenager too, which that
There's a
was
sort
definitely
of-
not explained earlier.
Yeah, it's a little vague about, yeah. A lot of these characters are sort of described as being like just post. Oh shit! Well, I gotta take a. Man, I can't believe it. Oh wait, did I? You know what? Let me just take a moment. I don't know if I
Yep,
turned my
no
lights
problem.
off in my fucking tent. I'm on my. I got plants that are on a 24-hour schedule.
Billboards, bus stops, her face on every shop. She hums a little tune, and the streetlights sway. Storm clouds, dark sky, mascara doesn't dry. She winks and all the gray blushes into place. She's the last bright filter stuck on my feet, laughing at the thunder, dancing on the breeze. Every cracked up future, every broken scene. She just flicks her tail and sings. Cora, Chico, Tammy, Teddy, Paul, Louise, dancing on the rooftops like it's all for free. Tiny little humans in a shadow screen, but she's throwing sparkles on a shattered dream. Cora, Chico, Tammy, Teddy, Paul, Louise, spinning through the chaos like a pink machine. If the end is coming, let it come on beat. Cora, Chico, Tammy, Teddy, Paul.
Okay, lights are off. But yeah, I was just saying there's a lot of sort of vague end of high school aged characters like Gru, like has an apartment, but I think he's described as he's supposed to be a senior this year. Maybe they may have said something like that, but there's a lot of characters that are like vaguely end, because I mean, I don't know about you, but like when I was a senior in high school, no one I knew had a fucking apartment. But it seems like there are some
Oh,
people
no.
that are kind of right. But I mean, maybe like, but you know, there may have been dudes like like immediately after high school, like 18 years old, immediately had an apartment in town, which was kind of weird to be going to parties at a place like that because it was just let's destroy the fucking place. But anyway, there's a lot of people kind of in that kind of age range that, and you're kind of not sure because obviously some of the characters are very organized adult gang leaders, although it does seem like Long, like some of the most villainous characters, Long and Oni, Lee and Bakuda all do seem like they're probably teenagers. I mean, and it is a teenage superhero anyway. But yeah, we got Gregor and Neuter and some girls. But yeah, also like at bars, going to bars and shit. So we don't really know the age of a lot of these characters, but they're somewhere in that kind of liminal age, early 20s, not quite adults. Anyway,
Yeah, no, I knew I had a friend that once I graduated from high school immediately got an apartment.
sure, yeah,
But,
that's
But yeah, and that, oh my god, that was, yeah.
shithole, right? Like turned into a let's destroy this place. Like
Yeah.
it turns really.
Security deposit,
Yeah, no, we're not getting that back. Yeah,
nobody's getting that back.
yeah, those.
I
the
mean, even
first,
if you clean the place like fantastic, like you're not getting that back.
well, yeah,
regardless.
because the landlord's going to figure out how to not give it back to you. That's his
Very much
whole
so.
job is to find a reason not to give you your security deposit back.
Very much so. But go to the club and the Neuter ends up like dosing some spoons for these girls and gives it to them.
Yeah, there are bad guys in all of these, everywhere in this story.
But and one of the girls gives Gregor her phone number. And oh, he goes around distributing sandwiches to people, which I thought was really weird.
Yeah, who's he giving? Is he giving sandwiches to like The
He
hungry?
gave he's given sandwiches to all the other parahumans.
Oh, are they
Uh,
poisoned?
I
I'm
believe I don't believe they are, but
looking through this
yeah,
section right now. I may have read this very late at night. I would not, I'm not totally sure what
yeah.
happens in Civil Varsity.
I'm trying to double check
But
too.
anyway,
Then he goes
oh
and
yeah,
meets
he also brings sandwiches or dinner to a young girl.
some young girl that was in a room, but again, it's been about a day or so since I read this.
Yeah, it's been a week.
Um, yeah,
This was we're late
yes,
talking about
we were
this.
really late talking about this. Um, yeah, I've been trying to reread it just so it stayed fresh in my mind, and I forgot to go through this one again. Uh, but he ends up going to talk with Faultline, and let's see here. Goes into her office. Basically is like, hey, you know, a sandwich, and she's like, no, I'm in the midst of trying to do this experiment
Yeah,
where
he's
I can.
handing everyone sandwiches.
Yeah, I know, and then, but she's trying to figure out how to move like. So apparently she can move inanimate objects from made of any element,
Okay.
but she cannot move like living objects. Like, but she was talking about there's been some experimentation of like trying to trick the oh god, what was it?
Does it have to do with the Manton
The
effect or
Manton effect.
the
Yeah, yeah,
Manton
yeah.
effect? Yeah, you can't.
You can't go outside the range of your, or the limits with that you're given from your powers, and she's saying that there's a way to possibly almost like it's a video game, like she's trying to find a glitch in the video game system, you know. And she's like, I'm trying to trick my brain into moving like living materials, so I've got like this piece of like live tree that she's been trying to move.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, it is an effect that, because this is another thing that has been mentioned once or twice. It's an effect that prevents powers from directly affecting living things. Like I think we talked about Lung is he's safe from fire, but he's also not able to directly burn his enemies. I feel like I'm not getting that exactly right, or I may not be getting the Manton effect exactly right.
I'm trying to
When
remember.
when it was described, I feel like it had to do with people burning each other and whether or not they were allowed to, or whether it has something to do with why you don't burn yourself when you're using a pyrokinetic power. But anyway, yeah, obviously I'm not. Obviously, I don't know what is going on with that, and I may not have absorbed it the first time.
It's. I feel like there's probably going to be some more like discovered or explained as the story goes on about the Manton effect and uh, how there's possibly a way to persevere through those blocks, potentially.
Yeah,
So,
they're trying to break the superhero rules. They're working to, yeah. She's having him beat her up.
uh, but then Gregor begins trying to choke and traumatize fault lines so she could possibly have a secondary
That's what it is. He's trying to
traumatic.
trigger a second, just like I was talking about
Yeah.
Skitter having a secondary evolution to increase her range. Yeah, okay. So they're trying to trigger Fault Line into evolving perhaps beyond this Manton effect.
Yeah. And then is like, nah, JK, bro. It's just a prank. And yeah, basically they end up like discussing what was it? Oh, Faultline was saying that there was a that apparently there's a connection of a stylized like lettering that was that's on his body somewhere. I'm trying to remember where, but he has a like basically a 90-degree turned U on his body somewhere.
Gregor
It's almost
does?
like a tattoo. Gregor does,
Okay.
and apparently, Faultline's been finding other parahumans with this same tattoo style.
Is there a
And
dude selling...
Neuter already has one,
Oh, okay.
if I remember right. But it's also they were talking about how they how him and Neuter have this retrograde amnesia.
Ah, yes, okay.
And how they don't remember how they got their powers, or or if not remembering when they got their powers.
There's a guy going around with this symbol on the inside of a briefcase, and he's got a bunch of vials of compound V.
Yeah, he's known as the dealer.
Yeah. And that's the, yeah. So potentially this guy can give you superpowers. I'm sure it's unpleasant.
Also, a parahuman known as Shamrock.
Yeah, what's Shamrock doing?
Basically, let's see. If I remember right, she's just helping out the dealer. Let's see. She became a. Oh wait, no.
Oh,
that was just an explanation of there was somebody that made a blog post about how they made the transaction for the parahuman serum stuff, and that person ended up getting killed. That wasn't Shamrock.
Shamrock also has the sideways tattoo.
Mm-hmm. And is almost like a domino type character.
Oh, is she lucky?
Oh, I believe so.
Okay. That makes sense because she's called Shamrock. I don't know if Shamrock was mentioned earlier, but I have like a drawing of this sideways tattoo earlier in my notes, so I'm not sure if someone else was meant, or they may have. She may have mentioned it being on Neuter like way earlier. Might be why. Half of see, now it's been a week since I read this and took these notes, but even like so much of when we talk about this, it's me looking at my notes and going, now why did I write down this? Why is this written here? Like I'm trying to figure out why like the notes are anyway. But yeah, sort of the big ending here is that there is a guy that is dealing a drug that he claims will make you into a cape, which seems very dangerous, and we know that becoming a cape is nasty, so it's probably a nasty drug to do.
Unlikely. Gets you fucked up.
And Faultline can move inanimate objects, and she wants to evolve her ability so she can grab living people with it. Basically, is what she's up to.
I believe
does that sound like her?
Living matter.
Yeah, any kind of organic. Yeah, that's the.
Yeah. And I believe she was using like green wood as a starting point.
Next time in the beginning, I'll explain I'll come back with my explanation of now I understand what the Manton effect is. I mean, we're not too off with what I've described.
No, I don't believe so.
I'm gonna tomorrow night I'm gonna have a full report and explain to you guys the story of Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek movie that didn't happen.
Oh gosh,
that's the thing I brought up last week that I didn't know what I was talking about.
I actually didn't. I knew that there was a script out there, but I kind of am intrigued to hear how it might have gone.
Yeah, he was threatening to do it for years.
Threatening to do it.
Yeah, so let's see here. That was arc 5. And yeah, more big fights. Oh, excuse me.
Nice.
Lung arrested again. Oni Lee on the run. We don't know where Bakuda is. Some of the leaders of the Empire 88 have been relatively squashed. That was Hive. Arc 6 is Tangle. And that's
Oh
next.
man.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if 15 more characters get introduced in the first segment next time. I mean, I
Oh
still
my
think this is
gosh.
very. I still think that like I am amazed at the way because I'm amazed at the way you can kind of just sort of get away with whatever you're doing with something like
Oh
this,
yeah.
you know, and it and it is fast, and I don't even want to say hastily written because I do think it's well written, but I mean but structured and paced very correctly in my opinion, even if I'm not sure what I should think of as like an issue, because I do think of it as a comic book. And like I picture like the bar scene like was in panels in my head. Like I'm visualizing a comic as I read this thing, which is really interesting to me, which really is not, I don't think a book has made me really think about a comic the way this, because this just so, it seems like someone wanted to write a comic. Maybe not. I mean, they definitely wanted to write a novel, and they did. So,
Say hopefully I can pull this up on YouTube. There was this video, uh, like God, what was it? It was oh, I think it might have been an episode of the animated series of Batman where all the villains were sitting around playing cards and talking about how they dealt with Batman or ran into Batman.
oh, sure. Yeah. I know the episode. Yeah. Is it a Christmas episode, maybe?
It was something. I don't know if it was a Christmas
There
episode, but it
might
was some.
be
It was like a. It was like sort of like a
like
a
three
one-off.
stories, that, right? Like, is
Yeah,
it like it's like a within
it's like
the
an anthological
episode?
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
within the episode, it's an anthology. Yeah, there. I might be thinking there might be a Christmas episode that also does like three stories, but please.
but yeah, no, I was just thinking of that kind of a similar like thing at the bar that they all meet
Mm-hmm.
at. Thought that was kind of thought
All
that
the
was a fun
villains,
idea.
all the villains meeting up to figure out how to what to do about their big problem. Yeah, it's so comic book. Yeah, especially a bunch of after hours, either heroes or villains meeting at the heroes or villain bar and kind of threatening each other, but everyone knows you're not allowed to actually fight each other. John Wick rules, like such like yeah, a trope before John Wick even came about. That kind of place.
Yeah,
Cool.
and it's I don't know. There was this thing I saw the other day. It was like DC superhero urinals or something like that.
Yeah, that what you can have in your house or
Oh, no. It was like God, what was it? It was basically the uh it was almost like a end of issue sort of like, gag reel thing. And
okay.
they're like, here's Wonder Woman explaining how like, here's Batman's urinal. It's covered in stalactites, much like his bat caves or
Okay.
silly shit.
Okay.
Um, Hold on.
Okay.
God, where was it?
Here is
Yeah,
Superman's
Justice,
urinal.
the
It's made out
urinals
of
of the
living
Justice
crystal
League.
in Antarctica.
Say what?
It said here's Superman's urinal. It's made out of living crystal in Antarctica or something.
Oh God, hold on, let me see. It was Superman's is constructed of reinforced titanium steel combined with a tiny
Oh.
red sun generator.
Oh, to neutralize the power of his piss stream? Does the red sun make him less powerful?
So it makes the stream less power.
Because otherwise he'll blast right through a regular
It'll blast
urinal.
right through it.
Right through the wall. Oh my god, how many urinals do you think the Kents had to go through? How many toilets?
Toilets. Oh my god, I can't even
Clark,
imagine.
you gotta piss outside, boy. You can't. You can't. You blew out another toilet. It's the fourth toilet this week. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. Don't piss on any of the trees. Don't. Now, boy, this is going. Now I'm picturing it. Now they have to. He has to have his own part of the yard to piss in, and it becomes a hole. He's digging a hole down into the center of the earth every time he pisses. They have to start. They have to buy fill. Clark's going poor because he's got to buy fill to fill in the hole in the backyard that young Clark. Jesus Christ. Anyway,
But I know I was wrong about the Batman one. It's shaped like a bat, and it has a picture of the Joker on the back of the.
oh wow, that's impolite.
That is funny.
One of the most impolite things you can do is put someone's face in a urinal. If you really dislike somebody, wow, okay, yeah, now I'm seeing it. Martian Manhunter has an authentic urinal from Mars. Wow, was this published in like the fucking 60s?
Here's my thing: is that like I don't know if this is like some like parody shit.
Yeah, did
Because
someone make this like
in
yeah?
the corner.
Oh,
But, like,
okay,
but,
okay.
like, conceptually, but like let's be frank, they would have done something dumb like this back in the day.
Yeah, no, they totally would have. Aquaman's pissing in the kiddie pool. The Flash's toilet is just a disaster waiting to happen.
Oh my god, there's gonna be splatter everywhere.
Yeah, even if oh man, wow, superhero pissing. Well, thank you, Tash.
Oh yeah,
Do you wanna like read up tonight and meet up tomorrow? Or
yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay.
But it'll probably have to be a little bit on the earlier side. Is that cool for you?
That's fine with me. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I
Cool.
will. I'll read a little bit before Assassins tonight, and I'll read a little bit afterwards. And yeah,